Okay, it is noon now. Hello, my name is Ansley Stewart. I am one of the clinical librarians at the Cornhauser Health Sciences Library on the Health Science campus. And we're going to go over how to get started with EndNote today, whether you need a refresher or you're completely new to it. We'll go over EndNote in three parts. We'll go over how to get your references into EndNote, the citation management program. Then we'll go over how to best use the desktop version of EndNote to kind of organize your resources and get the full text added. And the third part will be how to use EndNote in your Word document or your word processor. There's a few ways to do that. Um, but first, before we get even start that, I like to show people how to download EndNote because I realize some people are completely brand new to it and they haven't gotten it on their computer yet. So we're going to be largely working out of, so obviously we're on the Cornell's Health Sciences Library homepage here. We're going to be referencing our EndNote training page through this website, through our website a lot. So you'll want to start off by going to Cornhauser's homepage. You can just Google Cornhauser if you're not used to using it. And then under Help and Services, we have EndNote Training. And then you'll see my face staring at you right here, and you know you've reached the right place, along with our other Intro to EndNote sessions. They're all the same, just happen monthly. So if you ever need a refresher, feel free to sign up for another one. And on the left-hand toolbar here, you'll see Download EndNote Desktop. And we'll go to U of L's web store. And I'm not going to walk you through exactly how to do that. We have a little 2 to 3 minute video here explaining and showing you how to download EndNote from the University of Louisville's web store here. It's essentially like online shopping you're checking out, but it's available. EndNote is available to you for free because the university pays for the subscription of it each year. So once you've downloaded that to your desktop, I know some people don't have access to the desktop version, so it might be a little confusing, but there is a EndNote online version and there's an EndNote desktop version. I'm largely going over the EndNote desktop version today because it has a lot more bells and whistles that you can use essentially, and it's a lot easier to use out of. If you're someone who is visiting the university and they do not have access to the full version of EndNote, the desktop EndNote desktop version, EndNote Online is free and available to everyone, and that's one of the other reasons we recommend using EndNote is if you're using this with someone who maybe works at a different institution or what have you, they can always use EndNote Online, and that way you to communicate, you can communicate and share your references with each other pretty easily. And I'll kind of point out some of the differences between EndNote desktop and EndNote Online. Either way, whether you're just using Endline or you're using desktop and online, you're going to have to register for an EndNote Online account as well, because that is how EndNote backs its references up, your what they call their EndNote libraries. And here's where I get on my soapbox here, because when you download EndNote and you create subsequent EndNote libraries, and I'll open up mine so you can kind of get a better visual of what I'm talking about here. This is what EndNote calls an EndNote library. So when I say library moving forward, I'm probably referring to the EndNote library. They have a bit of their own vocabulary to things. But it basically is just a EndNote file, and this is the file that contains your references, so your journal articles, your book references, all of that. And as you can see, I have a lot in here because I've been working out of it for a number of years. But why I bring this up and why it's important is because when you are downloading EndNote Desktop, you're going to have to open a new EndNote library if you're not transferring an old one that you've worked out of previously. And where you save that EndNote library is very important because you need to save it to your computer's actual hard drive somewhere. So I save my EndNote libraries to, and I'll enlarge the documents folder on my computer. So you can see primary EndNote library, and then there's a subsequent data folder as well, and which is where the PDFs are held. But when I open up my EndNote desktop, it comes from the documents folder on my computer. And so, in a nutshell, that is to say, you need to save your EndNote library to somewhere on your actual hard drive and not to a cloud system and not to a network drive, because your EndNote files will become corrupted, and you won't be able to open it or share it or what have you. And unfortunately, there's nothing myself or people who work for EndNote can do to save those. It's just going to be work lost or things that you have to go in and modify. Someone once asked me what I meant by corrupt. I mean, just that you will have to, that your references won't be readable by EndNote or other citation management software systems. Um, so it's not going to harm your computer. It's just all the work that you put into bringing all of your references together into an EndNote library is you're going to have either, broken references or missing references or an EndNote library that you just can't open. So it's just not going to be usable. So it's not going to be harmful or to your computer. It just you won't be able to open it and use your references that you've spent the time working on. So I'll bring that up, I'm sure, at least another time because that's my big soapbox and unfortunately, EndNote doesn't put it in bold, but do not save your EndNote library to a cloud system or a network drive. Make sure it's saved to an actual hard drive. And there is a
Um,
way. Yes, is there a question?
yes, is it possible? Can I ask my question? Sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ashley, for presentation you are doing. It's very nice. But I have a question. I have EndNote on my desktop, but unfortunately, regarding your point you are mentioning right now, I already save on a shared drive. So, do you think I need to have a copy on my desktop again, or already crash, or I need to do something else just to prevent any problem in future?
Yes, so two things, and we'll go over I'm assuming you already have an EndNote online account because it's now required of EndNote to make you create one. So you can back up your EndNote library through the EndNote online account. So that way there's a safe saved version online for you. It's the only cloud system that EndNote is compatible with is its own. And then the second thing is I recommend people back up their EndNote library to a hard drive. Well, number one, they have it on the hard drive of their computer, but I think it's a safe move to have it backed up to a thumb drive or something every couple months. Again, just so you have a couple of copies of your EndNote library and you're not going to lose everything if, your computer crashes or you do have it saved to a cloud system that's not EndNotes, and then it kind of delete some of your information because, again, it's not compatible with outside cloud systems. Does
Uh,
that help answer your question?
Yes, somehow. Just I wanted to double check with you. I can understand the point, but when I'm saving my EndNote desktop on a shared drive, is it still safe to have there? My question is about the function of EndNote. Is still working perfectly on a shared drive or no? Definitely, I have to save on a desktop and or on a external hard.
Um, it will, if it's not already, it will not be safe on your shared drive. There's not an exact time as to when the files will disconnect or become corrupted, your reference files. But
Okay.
yes, it will happen at some point if you keep it on a shared drive.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Um, but that is a good question. If you need to transfer something temporarily, putting your EndNote files or your EndNote library on a shared drive, for a day or two, that's fine. But if you leave it on there long term, unfortunately, the files will become corrupted. They'll disconnect from your Word document, or they'll just have broken links, or it, I can't predict exactly how, but it does not work well with outside cloud systems and network drives. Um, so now that we've gone over the basics of how to get EndNote downloaded to how to download EndNote Desktop and where you should be saving it, we'll get started on how to actually use EndNote. I'm going to start off on, again, our Kornhauser Health Sciences Library homepage here. Um, because, well, actually, let me back that up. I'm gonna open up a brand new EndNote library so we can all be working out of a new one together. Um, because working out of mine is gonna, it's too much information. It's just gonna be messy. So let's see, we'll call this one March. And again, I'm gonna save it to my documents folder on my desktop. So that way it is saved to my computer's hard drive. Um, so this is a, just completely blank, brand new EndNote library here. Someone once asked me how I when you, why is it dark instead of I know typically the colors for EndNote are white and purple, um, but that's just my computer setting. It's not anything specific to do with EndNote. I just have my computer on dark mode. So if you see something different where your background is got the themes of white and purple, that's correct. I don't want you to think that you've downloaded something incorrectly. So, uh, but I tend to show people how to download EndNote EndNote references to EndNote through the databases because it's much more reproducible than if you were using EndNote itself. Technically, you can download files or reference files, that is, within EndNote itself or from outside journals or databases. Um, So some people search for, within PubMed or Library of Congress or what have you, or Web of Science, within the online search within the EndNote desktop. And you can do so, but as I said, it's not really reproducible. I really only recommend finding references this way within EndNote. If you already know the exact citation of the reference that you're looking for, because it's very clunky way of searching. If you don't have, something capitalized in the right way or a period in the right spot, it's probably not going to find what you're telling it to find. It's just very finicky and uh, so really only if you have the exact citation ready to go would I recommend searching for references within EndNote. For subject searching and trying to find articles or references on your actual topic, I really recommend going through the different data, looking through the different databases and trying to find them there. So that's why we're going to start off on Kornhauser Health Sciences Library homepage. And I'm just going to show you how to download reference files from PubMed and EBSCOhost database and Google Scholar. Are the three that we're going to show examples of. So let's say we are writing a paper on lung cancer. That's going to be our running example for the day. And PubMed can be a little slow sometimes, so we'll see how it works. Um, but here we go. So we put in our search. You select. I'm just going to select the top one here, if it allows me to. And I'm not sure if EndNotes, or I'm sorry, PubMed slowdown is having anything to do with the holdups at the National Institute of Health, but sometimes it's just slow. Okay, so let's say this is a journal article that we found and off PubMed and we like it and we'd like to save it to our EndNote library. You can do so by just clicking Send to Citation Manager because that's what EndNote is. It's a citation management program. And click Create File. The reference file will download to your browser downloads here. So, and then when it finishes downloading to your browser, you will double click it, open, and it will import itself into your EndNote library here. Um, if you're using EndNote on your computer for the first time, you're probably going to get the window pop-up that goes, where do you want to send this file to? And obviously you will select EndNote, and then after that it knows to send those types of reference files directly to EndNote, so you don't have to do that every single time. So it didn't come up on mine because I've already got those that presetting for where the reference file should be going to. But as you can see, here's our article that we just added. We're going to go back to PubMed because you can also select multiple references at once. So let's just select the top view here, top 6 or so. And you can do the exact same thing. Send to citation manager, create file. It still creates a singular reference file to download, but it contains all 6 of those references. And once I double clicked it open, it imported itself into EndNote here. So there we go. So now that's pretty simple. Again, just send to, if you're on PubMed, send to citation manager. You'll click create file. It'll download to your browser. When it downloads, you click it open and it'll import into EndNote. In EBSCOhost databases, so going back to the Cornell Library homepage here, I'm going to choose, let's see, CINAHL, or let's do, okay, choose CINAHL here, and we'll do same search for lung cancer. And what I should point out before I moved away from that landing page is there are a number of different databases under EBSCOhost, and when I say EBSCOhost, that is the producer of these databases. So EBSCO has a lot of different databases. If I click on searching right here, I can pull up the listing of them. So you can see each of these is an individual database that the library subscribes to, that the University of Louisville Library subscribed to. And all these fall under the EBSCOhost domain. So the one we're just searching out is CINAHL. It doesn't really matter which database we're using here. They all kind of have the same layout for the most part. So that's what I want you to focus on is if you're using one of the EBSCOhost databases that has this layout, which is, largely white, pretty basic right here. It's got the U of L logo in the corner, in the left-hand corner there. This is how you're going to download a reference. So you'll click on the reference that you wish to download a reference file for, and then you'll click on, sorry, it's up here, it's one of the icons. You'll click on the little quotation icon, the one when you hover over it says cite, and then you'll click on export citation. And you'll click on export in RIS format, and it even says right here EndNote. There is export to EndNote Web, which is the EndNote Online account that I was talking about earlier. But if you're doing it to your EndNote desktop, if you're saving this reference to your EndNote desktop, you'll click on export in RIS format here. And RIS is just the file, the type of file that the reference is. So same thing as with PubMed. You click on that to download the reference file. The reference file downloads to your browser. You click it open, and now it will import into our EndNote library. So when you import something, that's what EndNote will show you as your most recently imported reference. But don't worry, all your references are still here. So right now we're seeing imported references. If you see where my arrow is on the left-hand side. And then if we click on all references, it shows us the references that we added from PubMed and EBSCOhost right here. So nothing went anywhere, nothing got deleted. I think that worries people a little bit when they upload something new. And unfortunately, it just shows them one reference and they freak out a little that things got deleted. It didn't. It just is going to show, it's going to land on the most imported references when you add something. So going back to our EBSCOhost database, again, you'll click on the reference that you want to add. You'll click on the cite quotation style button here. You'll click export citation and you'll click export in RIS format. If you only have access to EndNote Web, you'll want to click on export to EndNote Web. But if you're using EndNote Desktop, click in export in RIS format. It'll download the reference file. You'll click the reference file. It'll import into EndNote. All right, so moving on to Google Scholar, because unfortunately that one is not as user friendly in terms of we have to set up the settings in Google to do this, not just click a button. So we're going to do our lung cancer search. And you can see right here it says import into EndNote. If you don't adjust the settings, you're not going to have the import into EndNote button. And so you go to settings to get that import into EndNote button by obviously going to settings in Google. And at the very bottom here, you'll see Bibliography Manager. And you'll click Show Links to import citations into, and obviously you will select EndNote from the dropdown. So again, go to settings, very bottom, select Show Links to import citations into, make sure EndNote is selected, and click Save. And then when you search something in Google Scholar, your search results will each search result will have the import into EndNote button. And same thing as the other databases, you click that import button, it downloads the reference file, you click open the reference file, and it imports into your EndNote library. So here's our reference from Google Scholar. Okay, so that is how I recommend getting your references into EndNote from particularly journal references. You're going to find those being the most common references that already have the reference file preset for you that you can just import into your EndNote library. Of course, not everything is available as a reference file, right? You're pretty much never going to find a website that's a ready-made reference file for you. Some of the books are not, though. If you look at our library catalog, we do have reference files for books in our catalog. Library catalog being the catalog from the university, not a no library. But of course, you can always create your own reference file in EndNote. So you do that by hovering over the little paperclip icon that has the little plus symbol in it. You click on that, and a window will come up to let you create your own reference. And first, you'll want to select which reference you're creating. So reference type. And as you can see, there's a whole lot of different references, types of references that EndNote accounts for. So of course you have books, you have dictionaries, films, interviews, government documents, grants, um, podcast, TV shows, theses. All the way down here at the bottom is web page. So if you need to create a reference for a website, that's where you'll go. Unused or ones you can create yourself, which I've never really heard of anyone using, but it is an option. So you'll create which reference type you're creating a reference for. Today, I'll just show you a book. And you'll try and fill out as much information as you can give it. So author's name standard. I'll just say, I'm going to make up a book here that I did not write. And EndNote will give you as little will take as little information as you give it, but you really want to try and fill out as much pertinent information as you can because, different citation styles require different information, right? So you don't know what citation style you might need depending on what class or what journal you're publishing to. So just try and give it as much pertinent information as you can. And when you're done filling out everything that you can, you'll click Save over in the right-hand corner here, and you'll exit out of the window after you click Save. And there we go. There's our new reference that we created, book example. And you can see this is what it would look like in APA citation style formatting for in-text citation or in the bibliography. You can see what it would look like elsewhere. So if we did, American Medical Association, it would have the little number there. So it kind of lets you know if you're putting in the information that you need to be putting in correctly. That's a little bit of a helpful way to see as well. Now, that's mostly it for part one of our training of getting references, setting up our EndNote and getting our references into EndNote. Part two is going to be how to best use EndNote Desktop, because as I was saying earlier, it's pretty much required now that you have to have an EndNote Online account, and that's how you back everything up. So we'll go over that, how to get the full text into EndNote, because these references that we're looking at right now in the middle of our EndNote library, they're just the reference information. They're just the citation information, meaning the full text of these journal articles are not attached. So um, there is a tool that EndNote has to help you along with that, with attachments, and how to organize things. So EndNote also has groups, which are basically folders. Again, as I said, EndNote has a bit of a weird terminology to it. Um, and how to share EndNote with other people if you're working in a group. So, uh, first, we're going to go back to our EndNote training page. So again, if you came in a little late or you need a refresher, going off the Cornell Library homepage under Help and Services, under Find Help, you'll want to click on EndNote Training because it has a lot of useful information in it. And you'll want to click on Find Full Text here. And Find Full Text is really important because this sets it up so that when you ask EndNote to do the Find Full Text feature for you, which means it tries to search through the references that you have in your EndNote library and find the PDFs for you or full text in a URL or some other way. In order to do that, EndNote needs access to things behind paywalls, the journal articles behind paywalls, and things that are connected elsewhere. So these are the links that you're going to want to put in, and thankfully Ellie has put that in the chat, so you can just copy and paste it, or if you need to come back at a later time, again, come back to this EndNote training homepage. But we're going to go put these URLs in our settings, so that way EndNote has access to the university's the catalogs through the university libraries, but also proxy that you are a university member and have access to these full text via subscriptions that the university provides. So we're going to copy the first link here, the WorldCat one. We're going to go to our EndNote library, our EndNote desktop, and click on File. Sorry, this is the part where I have to deviate a little because if you have not downloaded EndNote yet to your computer, when you are downloading it, it asks you if you're using a Apple operating system, so a Mac operating system, or a Windows operating system. And there is slight differences between the two, and this is one of them. Their settings, for some reason, are called different things. So it's called Preferences in Windows, and it's called Settings in Mac operating system. They're the exact same otherwise, other than just being called different things. I don't know why. I've been using this for 10 years now. I don't know why it's different. I can't give you a better explanation. But what you need to know is if you're using a Windows operating system, as I'm showing you today, you'll want to go to Edit Preferences. If you're using a Mac operating system, instead of File, there'll just be an EndNote dropdown, and you'll go to EndNote Settings. So again, Edit Preferences if you're using Windows, EndNote Settings if you're using a Mac operating system. And so both the same thing, preferences/settings, exactly the same. You'll both see this window come up, depending, no matter which operating system you're using. And you'll click on Find Full Text. And right here is the first link that Ellie put in the chat, and it's in the web page that I just copied it from. So you'll want to copy and paste that into the open URL path is the worldcat.org URL. And then underneath that one where it says authenticate with URL, you'll want to put in the echo.louisville.edu/login. You'll want to put in that URL. So make sure those two URLs are in the correct place, and you'll hit apply and hit OK. And this is because when we then go and ask EndNote to do the Find Full Text tool, which we're going to do right now, so you'll want to select which references you want EndNote to find the full text for. You'll highlight those. So I just did Control A to highlight all of our references. And you'll want to go to Library and actually we don't need to select a dropdown. You can just do right click on the highlighted references and select Find Full Text. And you'll see this come up, the off-campus login. This is, again, since we put in, because the second URL we copy pasted into our Find Full Text settings is the login.echo.louisville. And that's your university proxy verifying that you are a university member and have access to full text and references, the full text of references that are subscribed to through the university that you have access to since you're a university member. So you just click continue, and you can see when I clicked on the find full text, or when I did right click and selected find full text popped up in the left hand toolbar here. And so now it's saying searching for 5, it found PDFs of 3, it's found a full text via URL of 1. And it's going to take a little bit of time, especially if you have plenty of references already selected in there. I say on average it takes about 10 seconds per reference that you're asking it to find. So if you've imported a number of references and you're asking EndNote to find full text for a number of references for you, I usually tell people that's a good time to ask it to do the find full text feature, and then, take a break, get up, walk, have a snack, what have you, and let it EndNote do its thing and just run for a little bit and try to find the full text for you if you got a large chunk that you're asking it to find. So so out of the total of 10 references that we have, it found PDFs for 4 of them, it found full text via URL for 4 of them, and it didn't find anything for 2. Of course, one of those 2 being the imaginary book that I did not write. And so that's why we do the adding in. So it's not a foolproof feature. It's not going to find everything for you, but it does help cut down on a lot of the just hand adding of full text you're going to want to do. And when I was showing you my documents folder earlier on my desktop, on my computer's desktop, where I save my EndNote libraries, when I created the March EndNote library, which I've highlighted here, it always creates an accompanying data folder. So, right, oh, sorry, it was right next to it. Haha. So whenever you create a new EndNote library via your desktop, when so again, the libraries are EndNotes files, right? So whenever you create a new EndNote library, it also creates an accompanying .data folder. So this is important because the data folder is where the PDFs lie. So once you start adding full text to your references in your EndNote library, the full text house themselves in this accompanying .data folder. So that's important to remember if you ever move your EndNote library to a different computer or switch to somewhere else. Even if you just move it to somewhere else on your computer's hard drive, if I were to take these from my documents folder on my computer's hard drive and put them directly on my computer's desktop, you're going to want to make sure both of these stay together, the EndNote library and the data folder, because if I disconnect them and they're in separate folders or separate computers or what have you, then I'm not going to be able to see the PDFs that are attached to the references in my EndNote library. So make sure those two stay together, especially once you start adding PDFs. And coming back to our EndNote library
Uh,
here.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, about the folder you show me the data, is it possible just to open it? Just I wanted to see there is just PDF there.
Yes, I can show you. It's
Yeah, just I
yeah, so
because
you'll see
oh,
there's
okay,
PDFs
different.
here,
Yeah,
and
some of
they've got I'm not exactly sure how they do the ID numbers, but they are tied to the corresponding references in your EndNote library.
okay, so all of them it's real. It's coming with a code. It's not, or the subject of the paper or something like that, the title.
Right, right. It's not going to be the author's name or the title of the article or what have you. It has its own
Okay.
ID number.
Okay, another thing, already I have my EndNote, folder, and I open it right now when you were working on that, and I found it, I have 200 something around 200 references. So if I want to go for finding, I mean, the full text, where can I find that link? I mean, the link you told us we can copy paste and we can go just to, you know, find.
Yes, Ellie has put it in the chat here, and then
Uh-huh.
if you want to come back to it at another time, it's on the EndNote training webpage. So if you go to,
And not training page. Okay.
yeah, so if you go to Kornhauser Library's homepage, which I just tell people to Google Kornhauser Library, it'll be the first one that comes up. And then you go to Help and Services,
Okay.
and EndNote Training is here
And
under
not
Find
training.
Help. Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So just is it possible just to send us, I mean, in the, I mean, uh, the message, I mean, by the chat, the link of this university library course.
Yes, I can send that out if so normally I don't send out the recording to people who don't ask for it. I don't like to spam people, but this is also a good time to bring up if anyone would like the recording of today's session, just email me and I'll send you the recording and I'll also send you the corresponding links.
Oh, nice. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Uh so going oh yes, going so in our EndNote library, now that we have some attached PDFs, so the full text of the journal articles that we added, you can find them by obviously selecting ones that already have the PDFs. You can know which those are because they have the little paperclip icon in the reference line here. So you'll see the reference information first because it says summary. Next to that is edit in this right-hand window pane. So if there's ever an issue or more information you need to add, you can always edit your reference. And then right next to that is the PDF. If you have attached one or you've used the find full text feature and it has attached one. One of the really nice things about this is once you added the PDF to your reference in EndNote, you can go and make notes or highlights or edits. So this little kind of square chat box icon here, where when you hover over it, it says markup/annotation. If you click on that, then you can do things like add a sticky note, highlight, underline, and strike through text. And you can do that in the PDF here. So if I select highlight and I highlight the first sentence in this article, it highlights the PDF and it'll save it as such if you click save. So that way when I come back and read it later, I can see my own notes and highlights and whatnot. So it's really, honestly, that's one of the main reasons we really recommend using EndNote is you kind of keep all of your information together. So you've got all your reference information together, you got your PDFs all in one place, you got your notes for your PDFs all in one place. And then as we'll get to, it helps write up the bibliography and do the in-text citation work in your Word document. Um, and if you come across a reference where EndNote wasn't able to do the find full text and attach the PDF for you, you just go in and find it, have your friend email it to you or order it through interlibrary loan here at the library. And then you just do attach PDF and hand add it. So obviously hand adding is going to take a lot longer, and that's why we recommend the find full text feature and setting that up in the settings ahead of time. But some will be necessary because, like I said, it is not going to find you all the references. It's not foolproof. It's just going to save you some time adding in the full text. Other setups that we'll need to do is in the settings/preferences. Again, if it's Windows, edit preferences. If it's Mac, it is EndNote settings. You'll want to open that up and you'll want to go to sync here. So this is where we're going to put in our EndNote Online login, so that way it syncs everything, and there it is backed up to a cloud. So EndNote Online used to not be required, but encouraged, um, but is required now for the most part. Um, EndNote Online is good because it backs up your references when you sync it to EndNote's cloud system, which is the only one it's compatible with. It is also how you're going to be able to share references with other people if you are both working out of EndNote together. So if you are new to EndNote and you have not created an EndNote online account, you're going to want to go to my endnoteweb.com, and I'll add that to the chat here. So in the chat, yep, myendnoteweb.com, you'll register. So you'll put in your email address. It doesn't have to be your university or hospital email or what have you. It can be your own personal email if you wish. Um, and then obviously create a password, your first and last name, CAPTCHA. The email is important, obviously, because that's how you're going to receive emails from EndNote if you need to reset your password or what have you. Also, if you ever call their tech support hotline, it's what they're going to need to know to serve you for tech support. But we'll get to that at the very end. So when you hit register, it'll do the normal registration of it'll send you a registration link via your email. You'll click on the registration link in your email, and then you'll come back to the home page, the myendnoteweb.com home page here, the landing page, um, and put in your same email and password that you created your login with, and you'll click sign in. And sometimes it takes a minute. And then for you signing in for the first time, it'll be a completely blank screen. It'll look like this, but as you can see, I have all of my EndNote references from my main library already backed up here, along with the different groups, which again are just folders in EndNote as well. So this is really important, again, because if you're working with someone from a different institution and they don't have the full version of EndNote, the EndNote desktop version available, they can always create an EndNote online account as completely free and available to anyone. And so you all can work out of this together if you're working on the same paper or something. You can share an EndNote group or an EndNote library with someone, and they can see what you're seeing that way. So when you create that reference, I'm sorry, when you create the login for EndNote Online, you're going to come back to your EndNote desktop and go to Preferences/Settings, and you'll put in the same login under Sync here. So same login, my email, my password, and click Apply. Um, and then you'll go to Sync Configuration and choose Sync Now. And then things will start backing up to your EndNote library. I think it backs up about every 30 seconds or so. Um, so you can, you know, force that by doing sync now or what have you. But it's not as if you have to click sync or save every time that you leave or exit out of your EndNote library. It is automatic. Um, and that is mostly it. Groups, I'm going to go back into my main library here because that's a little easier to show, because I already have them set up. So groups, as I was saying, are just EndNote are just folders within your EndNote library. So they're how you can organize for different projects. Um, so if I want to create a group, just right click on group, create group. We'll do lung cancer here. So we have our lung cancer group now. It's blank. You'll just drag and drop the pertinent references into it. And if I wish to share my group with other people, because let's say we're working on a group project together or writing a paper for submission, you can do, it has to be highlighted first, and then you'll click right click and click share group. Um, and let me see. Do I need to sync mine? Okay, there we go. So sorry about that. Yes, so as I was saying, select the group you wish to share with other people. You'll right click that and click share group. And then this window will come up and you just put in the email addresses of the people you want to send it to. they have to be the same email as their EndNote online account login, to make sure you have their correct email. Because some people have come to me with issues of, oh, I'm sending it to their email, but they're not getting it. Make sure it's their exact same username for the EndNote Online account, because some people might give you the vanity email or what have you. So again, make sure it's the exact same email that they use to log into EndNote Online. They already have to have the EndNote Online account made for them to get the email and have it work. And then you can do the permission, which is read and write permission, which means read and edit, or read only permissions, which means they can only view what you send them and they can't make any edits. I do caution people with the read and write permission, because if you give them that permission and they edit, you don't get any kind of notification if someone makes an edit. So if they delete a reference or, change the year on an article or what have you, there will be a history kept of edits made, but you're not going to get an email or a pop-up notification saying, you know, user Y uh, made such and such edits. So just word of caution. Um, So that is how you share. You can share your entire EndNote library if you want to. That's pretty rare now. Most people don't do that. Um, but you can do so by just doing file, or is it edit? Um, sorry, file share. So it would be EndNote share. And exact same thing uh, as you would before, but you're sharing your entire EndNote library. So they would see all your groups, all your references. Most people just share, create a group and just share it with others at this point. So they only have to work out of one EndNote library. Okay. So that is
Uh,
mostly it.
I have a
Is
question if it's possible.
okay.
Yeah, I did the same right now with you. I mean, I think with, I mean, online EndNote, and now I can see duplicate references 410.
Hmm.
So I don't know why it's like that, because the online I'm maybe in I mean in my online library there was lots of duplicate references, but they added already, and now I have I mean the duplicate references item with 410 number. So what should I do?
That raises a good point. There is a tool in EndNote for deduplication. So under, let's see, is it under, yes. So under the library drop down here, there is find
Good.
duplicates. So there's
Okay.
a deduplication tool. So when there's duplicates, you can see it'll come up and it'll say which of the
Uh-huh.
references you wish to keep, and you can select which one you would like to keep. Um, so that's a good point. I recommend doing that before you start writing your paper, so that way there's not confusion between, are you inserting one reference into the paper but editing another in your EndNote
Exactly.
library. So yeah, there is the find duplicates tool, and yeah, best practice. Go ahead and do that before you start writing the paper. Um, and yeah, so thank you for bringing that
My
up.
my question is, I use that library already in my, I mean, grant and my paper. So now I wanted to sync with the, I mean, online, just to make sure all of them it's in on my online as well, just in case if you told to be safe side. And now my question is, which one I have to keep and which one I have to remove, because I don't know which one I used in my grant or my paper.
That would be something I would have to look at your library and see at a later time.
Okay.
So I'm happy to meet with you at a later time, and we can kind of go through and see which ones uh are connected to your paper and were therefore would need to keep.
So you mean we have to do it one by one, or no, there is
Right.
a way just to check all of them?
Right. You would have to go one by one to see which duplicates you would want.
Oh my goodness. I think it's very hard. So how can I mean, just improve my online EndNote just to avoid any kind of things, because whenever I wanted to, sync to go, to my EndNote, online EndNote, and it happens something like that, it's very hard for me just go back again and check everything. Is there any way just to avoid in future? Because I have a backup, my EndNote, so already I can use that one. But in the case I wanted to get sync, what should I do?
Um, yeah, this is something, since this is more pertaining to your specific EndNote library, we'll have to talk at a later time about this.
Okay.
So feel free to message me, and I'm happy to do a one-on-one session with you. And but there's not, but you're right. There's not a tool that warns you already have an article ahead of time. It's something
Yeah.
Deduplication is something you would have to do retroactively. EndNote isn't going to warn you that you already have more
Yeah.
than one of a reference already in your EndNote library.
Okay. Okay.
So
Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. Um, so now that so that's pretty much it for how to best organize your EndNote desktop library. So we're going to move on to how to use EndNote in your word processor. So most people use Microsoft Word. I don't know why that came out sounding like a question, but most people use Microsoft Word. EndNote is compatible with other word processors, such as Apple Pages and I think Apache OpenOffice, and Google Docs. It is now available to use in Google Docs, which is the only one. Again, it's the Google Docs is the only uh, cloud-based Word document writing word processor that EndNote is compatible with. So I'm trying to think of other ones that people use, but I'm kind of blanking at the moment. But let me go ahead and put that do 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 add that link in there. Oh, great. Ellie's already done that. Thank you so much, Ellie. So Ellie's link to how to use uh EndNote call site its feature site while you write. Again, for some reason, EndNote has kind of a weird terminology to it. So when you download EndNote Desktop for the very first time to your computer, it makes you log out of all Microsoft programs because it is uploading itself into Microsoft Word and maybe um, PowerPoint might be another one that is compatible with. But that way, when you refresh and open everything again, you'll see that there is an EndNote tab in Microsoft Word. Um, and that obviously they call this feature cite while you write. So like I went over the find full text tool and the find duplicates tool, those features. This is the feature of using EndNote in your word processor. So the cite while you write feature is the one that's compatible with the word processors. And that is how you get the in-text citation and the bibliography written up in your Word document. Um, so Ellie's link to how to use the cite while you write feature in Google Docs. It's pretty straightforward, but we're just going to go over how to use it in Microsoft Word because there's more, I think like, more people use it in Microsoft Word, and also there's, again, more bells and whistles to it. Um, so we're gonna, so the first sentence here, like, hey, that's great. We want to go ahead and add in our in-text citation. There's two ways to do that. You can choose the insert citation dropdown and select insert citation, and then a window will come up, a little search window here. Um, and so you type in whichever, whatever you want to search by here. So lung cancer, obviously, but you can search by author's name or year, or it's acting as a control find in the search text, in the search box. So if anything has to do with that in the abstract or the title or what have you, whatever you put in the search box, it's going to come up in this listing here of all the references already in your EndNote library. If you're working out of a shared EndNote group, you'll have to choose the drop down here, shared group. But since we're not doing that right now, so do let's think, okay, great. So we put in lung cancer, let's add in this reference, and you click insert, and you give it a minute. Usually when you're opening this up for the first time, EndNote takes a few seconds to process. But here we go. So here is our first in-text citation. This is in American Medical Association format. We can switch it over to APA, American Psychological Association formatting, and it still fits the same format depending on which citation style we choose it in the listing here. So as I was saying, there are two ways of adding references in. So our first way is selecting insert citation. You select insert citation under the drop down here. It pulls up the window with the search box and you can search for your citations. You can search the citations in your EndNote library that way. You can also choose insert selected citation. And that is you going into your EndNote library and selecting which citation you would like to insert first, and then you come back to your Microsoft Word, and there you go. You have inserted you go to your EndNote library, select which citation style you want, click the Insert Citation dropdown, and click Insert Selected Citation. Um, so either way is fine, whether you want to do it by the searching via the window in Microsoft Word or via selecting it first in your EndNote library and then telling it to insert the selected citation. You can insert multiple citations in a singular in-text citation, um, and that is just a matter of highlighting multiple references at once. So I should actually write a different sentence first. So third sentence, insert selected or insert citation. And we'll do this one. And I'm just holding down the control button to highlight multiple references and clicking insert. And that way, in the in-text citation here, it's multiple references. And right, so we have our in-text citations. And then at the bottom here is our bibliography that's being written up at the same time. Anytime you want to make edits, whether it's to the bibliography or the in-text citations in your Word document here, make sure you are selecting Edit and Manage Citations. Because if you go in and just try to make edits via the keyboard, like doing backspace or what have you, to delete something, EndNote doesn't really know how to process that. And so either it can delete your in-text citation along with the bibliography, or it might pop up again another point in time. So if you want to delete something or make edits to anything, make sure you're selecting Edit and Manage Citations here. So let's say if I just wanted to bump this down to one citation, one in-text citation, I would do Edit Reference and then Remove Citation and click OK. And so that way it takes out the in-text citation and the reference from the bibliography as well. If I want to just have this just in the bibliography, same thing. You have to go to Edit and Manage Citations, Show Only in Bibliography here under Formatting, and hit OK. So that way it takes out the in-text citation, but it leaves it in the bibliography. And again, this is all in the corresponding citation style as we've told it to. So you have a preset list of citation styles here, and you can select another style from a list of about 500 or so. There's even more on the EndNote website. You can just Google, you know, whatever citation style you need in EndNote, and you'll be able to find it because there's, thousands in the world. But they preset the top 500 or so. And if you're looking specifically for American Medical Association, you'll have to go to the very bottom of the J's because they label it as JAMA. So you'll want to select that and hit OK. And that way, because it's not one of the preset styles in your drop-down list, but that way it will be once you add it after selecting it and select another style. Okay, so Other things right quick, going back to the library's homepage, that's mostly what you need to know. It's going to take a little while to play with it. Please let me know if you'd like a recording of the session. I will send it to you along with corresponding links. Um, if you ever just need individualized help, feel free to email me with the email that I sent you of today's session. And I'm happy to get in touch with you and get something going. If you can't get a hold of me, um, and because it's 8 o'clock on a Monday night and I'm not checking my email, EndNote does have a 24-hour hotline Monday through Friday that you can call. Um, so if you just Google EndNote oop, contact or tech support or what have you, it should be the first one that comes up. So clicking on that bring you to this page, and you can see here's the number to call, and you will speak to a live person who works for EndNote. So any of the questions I've had for EndNote, they've always been able to answer for me. They're available 24 hours a day, Monday through Friday. Um, if you are working on a paper that is due on Monday and it is 11 o'clock on a Sunday night and myself is not available, or the libraries aren't available to help you and EndNote tech support isn't available to help you, I really recommend looking at EndNote via YouTube or just Googling your problems because a lot of people work with EndNote and they're really good about helping others troubleshoot how to use EndNote. EndNote itself has its own kind of EndNote itself puts out its own YouTube videos, but so do a lot of other institutions, and people are usually pretty happy to help with troubleshooting EndNote. It's a pretty good space for people sharing information on how to better use it. But that is 101, so we're going to go ahead and end today. I'm going to hang on for another 10 or 15 minutes if anyone has individual questions that they would like to ask. Um, but thank you so much for coming. And again, send me an email if you would like the recording. So because I don't send it out to people who don't want it. And thank you for attending. I hope you have a great rest of your day.